In the year 1824, a messenger arrived at the British headquarters in the Gold Coast. He carried no gold, no silk, and no letters. He carried a warning. For years, the British Empire had expanded its reach, but they had finally bumped into a wall they could not move. The Ashanti Empire. The British commander, Sir Charles MacCarthy, laughed at the warning. He believed his modern weapons and red-coated soldiers were invincible. He was wrong. What followed was not just a battle, but a moment that would change the history of West Africa forever. This is the story of a general who lost his life, and a kingdom that proved it would never be conquered. By the early 19th century, the Ashanti Empire was at the peak of its power. Under the Golden Stool, they had unified the forest lands and controlled the flow of trade. But the British, stationed in forts along the coast, wanted total control. Sir Charles MacCarthy was a man of high ambition. He viewed the Ashanti not as a sophisticated nation, but as an obstacle to be cleared. He ignored the complexity of Ashanti diplomacy. He ignored their military discipline. In January 1824, he gathered a force of over 2,500 men and marched into the dense, humid rainforests of the interior. He was looking for a fight. He found a nightmare. The two armies met near the banks of the Bonsaso River. The air was thick with heat and the sound of drumming. MacCarthy, confident in European tactics, ordered his band to play God Save the King. He expected the Ashanti to flee in fear of the music and the uniforms. Instead, the Ashanti responded with their own music. The talking drums began to beat, a rhythmic language that coordinated thousands of warriors hidden in the bush. The battle was fierce. The British soon realized their mistake. Their ammunition carriers had brought the wrong supplies. Instead of gunpowder, they opened crates to find only macaroni and food. As the British ran out of bullets, the Ashanti closed in. It was a tactical disaster for the empire. To the British, this was a barbaric act that demanded revenge. But to the people of the Gold Coast, it was a symbol of pride. It broke the myth of European invincibility. It proved that African strategies, African courage, and African unity could defeat the greatest superpower of that era. The General's skull became a legend, echoing through the corridors of London and the markets of Kumasi. It forced the British to treat the Ashanti not as subjects, but as a nation that must be feared and respected. History is often written by those who cross the seas to conquer, but the story of the General's skull is written in the soil of Ghana. It teaches us that dignity is not given, it is defended. It reminds us that our ancestors were masters of diplomacy and war, who stood tall when the world expected them to bow. Today, we do not look back with bitterness, but with a profound sense of identity. We remember that the borders of our nation were drawn in the blood of those who refused to be silenced. We are the descendants of a kingdom that turned a general's pride into a king's trophy. Be proud of your heritage, for the lion does not need to tell the world he is a lion. The forest already knows.